Hey y'all, Jamie here. I received this beautiful invitation from a friend to speak more about what I mean by this word sovereign. So I wanted to take some time today to unpack that word a little bit and share more about what I mean by that word, right? Because a lot of times we have these kind of big concepts or ideas or terms that we use in our culture, and we don't always mean the same thing as another. So I'm grateful to share a little bit more about what I mean by this word sovereign. So this word sovereign, I chose to name the current, small group transformational container that I'm inviting people into right now. I chose to call it sovereign, knowing that this word is not the perfect word, but it's close. I was going to call it virgin, but I realized that in order to call it virgin and mean what I mean by that word, I would have to unpack that word and sort of reclaim it from what it's currently used as. So that was a little bit more than I had time to do. So I wanted to use this word sovereign because we have a sense of it in a basic way. So I want to say more about it here. So both the word sovereign and the word virgin, to me, what they mean at their core, or what they mean to me, is one who is whole unto themselves. One who is self-possessed, who has personal inner authority, who has access to their inner power, their inner wisdom, their inner knowing, and their inner truth. One who is sovereign is one who is an active agent and co-creator of their lives. So there's two kind of pieces that I've been sitting with that I think are important to this concept as it lives inside of me. One is that one who is sovereign has access to their inner resources. And what I mean by that is a number of things, actually. Some examples of our inner resources are the nurturing, generative, protective kind of caretaker or inner parent inside that knows how to create strong boundaries, restore reciprocity, tend to the self in a generative way, as well as tend to others in a generative way. Another inner resource is the wild innocent, the one who is childlike with wonder and joy and awe and embodied presence. The deep soul, the deep feminine inside of us, the wise spirit, that masculine inside of us. So we have access to those inner resources. We also know how to manage our energy, our own inner landscape. So we know how to work with the emotions. We know how to work with energy. So we know, for example, how to bring energy from our minds down into our hearts, how to open our heart, how to, not guard our heart, but how to hold our heart in a healthy way. We know how to come down and in and access that deep knowing that lives in our gut. We know how to go down into the womb space or the pelvic bowl and access creative energy there. We really know how to move and manage the energy inside of us. We also know how to give back what's not ours and come back into and regather, resummon our own energy to ourselves. So that's one piece. Another second big piece here is one who is sovereign in my mind is one who has resourced. So I use that word resourced, meaning coming back into, I'm doing this thing because there's this source line that goes this way in the human technology, the human intelligence. And so I'm talking about sourcing, how we source energy, life force energy. To me, we source life force energy as sovereign humans, both from Gaia, from Earth, from this body that we live upon, that we are part of, as well as from whatever you'd like to call it, creator, great mystery, God, the universe, the divine, whatever word you want to use, that higher power, that which we also come from, right? So where we come from. So we source from our source points, our origination points. We also source within, so all those inner resources that we have. And what we've been sort of conditioned to do in our culture is to seek power and resources outside of ourselves, kind of on this horizontal plane. So we've looked to gain energy, to give and take energy from other people, from systems, from structures, from that which is outside of us in this plane. So to me, that's not necessarily the way the human organic system was meant to function. We're meant to source this way. And when we source this way, we're able to connect here from that place of sovereign wholeness, from that place of empowered, embodied essence, and share and be with one another and mutually enhance one another's lives and contribute and be together and walk with each other and all of that. But we don't, one who is sovereign doesn't source power from other people. They don't need to take energy from other people in order to feel a sense of power. That's a distorted program in my mind. We also don't outsource our responsibility to others or our authority or our power. We source that from within and from this central channel, from this like pillar of light that we actually are. So it's a different kind of way of being in the world and being with ourselves. A couple of other things about sovereign is, one who is sovereign has the capacity to observe their inner world, their outer world with curious presence, from a centered place, and to know the needs and serve the needs of her inner world and the world that she brings close to her, or he brings close to him. One who is sovereign honors the wholeness and freedom of others. So when we become whole inside, we want and naturally respect the wholeness of others. We recognize that each of one of us has our own unique niche in this ecosystem, and we want others to be whole, to be sovereign, to be free. That is not a threat to us. That is actually a deep wish for all beings on the planet. So there's a real respect for all life that comes to me with this word sovereign. I think I said a lot, not everything, about my thoughts on this topic of sovereign, but those are my ideas. I wanted to share them with you to clarify what I mean by the word sovereign. And I also want to say that sovereign is not something that, to me, it's a practice. It's an orientation. It's a constant invitation as we walk through each day of our lives to come back to center, to come back to wholeness. And it doesn't mean that we don't ever get thrown off center. It's that we know how to come back. We come back again and again. It's a place we return to, that inner centered, empowered, embodied presence. And that is something we're devoted to. So I'd love to hear anything you want to share. I'd love to hear what lands for you, how you relate to this word sovereign, what words you like, whatever you'd like to share. And know that for a couple of more days, I'll be welcoming people into my program called Sovereign. And so if you're interested in that, please come and connect with me and learn more. All right, sending you much love. Be well. Bye.